Hi everyone, welcome back to Burra Country and welcome to 2025. I'm Peter and this year we have some great things that we plan to do. And so today I'm just going to go through a few of those things, and one of those is doing exactly what I'm doing right now, and that is going for some walks down some rail trails and doing what is called rucking. So I'm carrying a lot of weight on my back. So just behind me though, just while we're here, over here, this is Burra on the Great Southern Railtrail, and there's some new toilets and a barbecue area going in and other works being done, so great things are happening around here. So that's fabulous for 2025. There's going to be some new things happening. So the other thing here is that what I want to do today, just as it's the beginning of the year, I've been asked by a number of people over the last 6 to 8 months, why did I start the YouTube channel? Why did we start the cycling and doing the rail trails? Now, actually, that question got asked and even made it to the South Gippsland Sentinel Times newspaper. That was cool. Thank you very much for that, and promoting us a little bit in the newspaper. And the question was, why start a YouTube channel? So the first reason was that I live in South Gippsland. There are rail trails around here, and there's lots of rail trails throughout Victoria. And one of the things, particularly post-COVID, was that a lot of these places, they relied very heavily on tourism. And like a lot of places that did rely on tourism, all that went away during COVID. And so a lot of businesses collapsed. A lot of businesses struggled, people lost their jobs, and unfortunately a lot of that hasn't come back, or if it's coming back, it's very slow, and people are still struggling, and there's a lot of businesses out there that have had to either scale back a lot or actually just close up. So that's actually a bad thing. Lots of flies today. It's about 26 degrees, 27 degrees Celsius at the moment. Nice dry day. But quite warm. So that's one of those. That's what's sort of partly what led me to doing it. So one of the things was that when I was looking at the rail trail and thinking about getting out and doing some exercise, you know, what's special about the rail trail? The rail trail still links all these towns that that the rail lines themselves used to do. And let's face it, these rail lines have been gone for a long time. They've been gone, some of these have been gone 30-40 years, but the trails, the land still exists between them. There's walkways between them, and if the government were to sell this land off or do something else with it, that land would be gone forever. So they've turned into rail trails. So that's a great thing. It's a good thing that they've done with this land. It's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. There's still some negative people out there about there. Otherwise this would just be sitting here, overgrown and doing nothing. So we have the rail trails. So part of that was to promote the rail trails, to promote those towns along these trails and what those towns have to offer, which is kind of cool. The other part of this was that probably about 2 years ago, I came to a personal awakening about my health, which was already not so good. I was quite overweight, particularly following COVID, and I was one of those people who could work through COVID. I'm a registered nurse, and I actually travelled interstate and around the country, helping to keep some of the clinical systems up and running around the country. So I did get to work, but I lived out of a suitcase a lot. I was in cars all day and running around from site to site, and really travelled all over the state and as I said, interstate. So I didn't eat well. I was sitting down, so while I was up and tired a lot because I was travelling, I wasn't getting any exercise. So I got bigger by a lot, and and I've been battling with weight for quite a long time, going up and down. And I used to be, when I was a young guy, I was a very thin guy and very fit at one stage, and just let it all go. So So probably about a year and a half ago, I thought, well, no, I've got to fix this up. I have diabetes. That was getting out of control. It wasn't being well managed. I was overweight. I was struggling to get even up out of a chair. So, and that's just stupid. So I did the first thing. So here's my first piece of advice for anyone who's feeling that way. Go and see your GP. Go and see your general practitioner and have a chat to them, which is exactly what I did. So I did do that and said, look, this is the situation. I want to fix this up. How can you help? And that GP was able to help me. So I was able to go on some medication for my diabetes that actually helped me with some weight loss. Now that's only a start. So anyone who's out there looking for a quick weight loss and an answer to everything with a tablet or an injection or whatever, that's not the answer. It will help you a lot. Let me tell you right now, it helped a lot. It was a great start. Lost around about 10 to 12 kilos, although I don't know if that was in relation to the medication or to what I did afterwards. So first thing I did was that. The second one is I realized that or accepted the reality is that I'm getting older, and I've just turned 60 just a few weeks back, and the reality is it gets harder to lose weight. And what's more though is that it was already affecting my mobility, so I need to get in and do something. So while I was on that medication, still on the medication, but while I was on starting that weight loss with the medication, I decided, well, I'm going to lose weight because of that, but I need to get out and start mobilizing. So I started looking at things, and I went and bought a little bike, and that was in April of last year. And so that little bike wow, inspired so much. So yeah, so that little bike, the Lightner folding bike, I've got a review of it, like after I'd done about the first 20 or so Ks. I was very excited after the first 20 Ks. Now that I've done a lot more kilometers, all up I did about 250 kilometers along this trail, backwards and forwards in sections, and that on that little bike before going to a really more suitable bike. I still like that folding bike, by the way. Great, because it will be used for putting in the caravan or in the back of the ute for taking places. So I bought the bike. So I did the Railtrail, and I got out there and started riding, and I got inspired. I suddenly realized there's great things out here. One is that you're out in the fresh air. The other one is that it helped clear my head. It really did. And it was getting colder when I started out, and that cold weather was, wow, does that wake you up? And so that was a good thing for me. I also wanted other people to come and join me, and look, you can't always get family to do that. They've got their own family, they've got other things on. But really the main thing was I really wanted to have family around me. But I will say that doing some of this by yourself is actually very good for your head. It got you out and got you doing stuff, and it helps to clear your head. You're just out here, like mostly you're by yourself, so like I am right now. So I'll just show you here. This is great. So yeah, so I'm out and I'm about doing some exercise. So that was part of it. So then I got on to doing the whole Railtrail by lengths, and we did the Great Southern Railtrail. Still got one little bit to go, which I will finish off early this year, and that's the Alberton to Port Albert section, which it's just an offshoot from there down at the Yarram end to Port Albert, but we'll do that. And then we're going to go and do a whole lot of other rail trails, and there's lots of rail trails in Victoria. A lot of little short ones. There's some as short as 3 kilometers long. Some of them are one way, so if it's 3 kilometers long, it's really 6, because you can go in, but you've got to come back out. But otherwise, really great, and we're going to walk some of those. There's a whole lot of other things we plan to do this year, and I'll get onto those in a minute. So just a bit about the health thing. So I've lost a lot of weight. Now it's not just about the weight, it's about the fitness, and I feel so much better for having done this now. 60 years of age, it does take longer. So if you're overweight, and don't listen to someone who's 25 who says, oh, you know, I've been at the gym every year and you know, it's really easy just to lose that weight or whatever. They've never been overweight. They don't know what it's like. Now, that doesn't mean they can't empathize and they can't help you, they can't instruct you. They certainly can, but don't get you know, don't feel that you can't do it because you're looking at someone who's younger than you, or because they're fitter than you already. Get out there and start doing something. So what did I do? I started with the bike rides, and I started with the shorter legs. I started doubling those legs. Some of those absolutely amazed myself. After only a month or two, I actually rode, and one day I'd ridden nearly 40 kilometers on my little folding bike. And I thought, wow, if someone had said I was going to do that only 3 months ago, I'd have said they're crazy. So that's pretty cool. And look, e-bikes are great. Don't let anyone tell you they're no good either, because the upside of an e-bike is that you can ride while you feel that you can keep up with it. And if you need a break, you can use the e-power. Or when you get to a hill and you're struggling, you put a bit more e-power on. It helps you get up the hill, but you are still out doing stuff, and you are still pedaling that bike, and you are still adding to your own health and your own mental sanity, if you like, by getting out here. So that's really cool. So please don't let people discourage you over these things. Get out there and have a go of them. Only downside, I guess, is you can spend a lot of money on an e-bike. Pretty easy to do. Okay, so I lost weight. I've actually thinned down a lot. Now, I stopped losing weight, but I've just been getting fitter and fitter and fitter, and I have seen muscles. My legs, seriously awesome. I feel so good about it after 8 or 9 months. And look, it's taken 8 or 9 months to feel this good about my fitness. And so now I'm looking at other ways. How do I increase that fitness level without hurting myself? I don't want to be going to a gym. I'm not a weights guy. I'm not going to sit there and do weights. It bores my brain. This is interesting because I see stuff that I haven't seen before, and even if I've walked this track before, it really wouldn't matter. And I have walked this part many times. It's good for your head to be out here in the open air. So for me, it's not about being muscly or anything like that. It's about being fitter, and if I get thinner by being fitter, that's what's important. So the exercise that I've come up with, and I've done some research, how do I exercise without hurting myself? I know that it takes longer for me to recover if I pull a muscle or whatever. I don't want to wear my joints out. You know, I've got 60 years of wear on them already, but I want to be improving my fitness and improving my muscle capacity, because the more skeletal muscle you have, the more sugars and things you burn up. So it's a good thing to build up muscle. Very important for your health overall, and also for just for your mobility. So I found this sport. It's called rucking, and rucking is basically putting a backpack on of any sort and putting weights in it. Again, if someone told me I was going to be interested in that, I'd have said you're mad. Now, it is a sport, particularly in the US. It's a big sport, rucking. People will put on massive amounts of weight. You know, their lighter weights, you know, could be around about 25 pounds, which is somewhere around about 20 kilos, and they will go running up hills and running cross country and doing all that sort of stuff. Not interested in that. What I am interested in is the benefits of what this does. So first thing is, what you do is you get a backpack. Doesn't matter what you put in it, but start off with something really light. And I started off with 2 kilos of a sandbag, so one of those ankle weights that I had at home. I put that in the bottom of a backpack, and I did my usual daily walk. And I walk at least once a day. I do about 3.5 k's every day, and some days I'll go out and do another 4 or 5 k's at night, depending on how I'm feeling. And at this point I'm up to doing that about 3 or 4 times a week, on top of my walking at least 3.3 k's every day for my lunch break. So now I don't have lots of time. I work full time, right? I work full time, and anyone who knows me knows that I can work very long hours. And so it's not just as simple as saying, oh, you know, I got nothing else better to do. I'm out working full time as well. So, but I work from home, which is, there is an advantage for me there. So yeah, so I do work full time. So putting all these videos together, getting out, getting the bike on a trail, getting to some other things, it takes time, and then putting all these videos together takes quite a lot of time sometimes. So this one, I wanted to get this done though for the beginning of 2025. Thanks. I wanted to thank everyone for being a part of last year and helping me get to where I am now. And I feel so much. I am 3 shirt sizes down. That is a lot. And I'm wearing 3 pairs of shoes like crazy. So I'm out doing the walks, and so now I put on 2 kilos on my rucksack, and then I increased that to 4 kilos. I found that the 2 kilos really didn't make any difference to me. So I've increased that to 4 kilo, and that did. I started, you know, you sweat a lot more. You can feel the weight, and I could feel it in my legs that I was doing that. Now, rucking will proclaim some really great benefits. So the first benefit is you put weight on your back. It actually makes you stand up straight. So as long as you weight that well and put the backpack on the right weight, and do it the right way around, then you should actually, by the nature of having that weight there, it should be helping you with your posture. So that's the first thing. Second one, it's weight exercise. So it's not only putting weight down on your legs, it's actually building up your core muscles. And anyone who has had a back injury will tell you that the first thing they were told by their doctor or physio or somebody, that you have to build your core muscles. So these are your stomach muscles, you know, all your abdominal muscles, and all the muscles around your chest. They need to be built up a bit in order to help support your back. And by carrying this on your back, that's what you're doing. So while you're walking, you're not just exercising your feet now and your legs, you're actually doing a muscle workout here on your shoulders and even in your neck, and that workout is pretty good. And it's low impact. You're not jumping up and down on the spot, you're not doing all those things. This helps to build even bone density because you're carrying that additional weight, and in response to that additional weight and that constant repeated exercise, your body will start depositing more calcium into your bones, and so it reduces your risk of osteoporosis, or at least staves it off longer. So that's a few of the physiological benefits. Plus, man, you carry all this weight around. When you take it off, wow, you feel like you just bounce all over the place because you just feel so good and light. Then the other part of this is that this weight on your back, you just keep increasing it as you go. Now, if you look at other YouTube videos on rucking, one of the things that they're going to say, oh, you know, start off with something light, say 10% of your body weight. Well, I weigh just over 80 kilos. 10% of my body weight is 8 kilos. I can tell you, if I'd put on 8 kilos the first time around, I wouldn't be doing this right now because it would have just hurt me. It would have been too much, and I would have gone, this is nuts, I'm not doing that. So don't do that. Put your backpack on. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be a fancy backpack. You don't have to go and buy something special. Go out and just get your day pack or whatever you've got lying around, and then put something in it. Even if you start off with a litre bottle of water. Remember, a litre weight of water is a kilo. And so just if you're going to use water though, my only thought there is that make sure the bottle's really full right to the top so it's not sloshing around, so the weight that's in your back is stable. I'm using ankle weights, which are sandbags effectively, and that means they're quite stable. I just laid them evenly across the bottom of the rucksack so they stay balanced. And so I am in balance when I'm walking. So make sure this is all set up right, you feel comfortable when you're walking, and then just start increasing the weights. Now, I've been doing this now for, I think, about 5 weeks. Started off on 2 kilos, I'm up to 6 kilos. I actually put 8 in it. 6 kilos is really comfortable. It's not even, it's heavy, but heavier, I should say, but it's actually pretty comfortable. I'm not really straining. but I can certainly feel that I'm getting out of puff quicker, and I can feel it in my legs a bit. So that, to me, that's actually a really good thing. So I'm going to be increasing that to 8 kilos shortly, and I'll probably only be doing that on one of the walks a day. I don't know, I've been doing it twice a day, and sometimes I think it's a bit much, but I'll be doing it on one of those walks every day that I'm out on, so that I'm getting that additional exercise. So what you do then is you increase your duration, you increase your distance you're going to walk, and increase the weight as you go. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm up to 6. I've got another 2 kilo weight. This bag won't hold much more, probably about 10 kilos now. 8 kilos is then about 10% of my body weight, or coming close to it. And I'm not working towards carrying massive weights, but I'm just going to be putting that in. I figure that if I can put on the weight though that I lost, because let's face it, I was already carrying that weight around, I should be capable of carrying most of that weight again, without really hurting myself, as long as I build up to it. But then I can take it off when I finish walking. So yeah, so that's rucking. So there's lots on YouTube. People do it for sports, as I said. Some people just do it for exercise. I'm doing it for a workout. So if you like our videos, please like and subscribe to Burra Country. It will really help us in the long run. Really appreciate it if you do, and really appreciate all those people that have already done that. But please like the video if you do, and please subscribe. And as I said, we're going to be coming up with a lot of videos hopefully this year. In our first year, between April and the end of December 2024, we put out 40 videos in total, with maybe 5 of those were shorts. So all the rest of those were sort of bigger productions, and we're really working to get some more of these trails out. But putting together 40 videos takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. So please like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Thank you.